Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter Gilmore. On today's episode, we're diving into the heart-wrenching case of a Massachusetts woman who was found fatally stabbed in an airport parking garage. Her accused killer fled the country and led authorities on what would become a months-long international manhunt. Meanwhile, back home in the States, her family and friends were left devastated. This is the story of Margaret, Maggie Mbitu.
So breaking tonight, WBZI team sources say a missing woman was stabbed and found dead in a Logan Airport parking garage. And police say the murder suspect fled the country.
A Boston grand jury has indicted an international fugitive accused of killing his girlfriend and dumping her body at Logan Airport.
According to the arrest warrant, state police say her body was found in a parking garage at Logan Airport inside of her boyfriend's car with a stab wound and slashes to her neck.
State police say the man wanted for the Whitman woman's murder boarded a flight to Kenya, and now police are in contact with authorities there to try to take him into custody and bring him back to answer for this crime.
Margaret Mbitu, or Maggie as she was affectionately known as, was born February 26, 1992. She is described as being very warm, caring, and loved by everyone she worked with. Before her untimely murder, the 31-year-old nurse lived in Whitman, Massachusetts, and had dedicated her life to helping others.
Maggie was a real sunshine in everybody's life that she came across with, her friends, her family, her coworkers, her schoolmates, everybody that she came into contact with. She changed their lives. They loved her. No one has anything bad to say about Maggie. There's plenty being said that is great about Maggie in there right now.
Maggie suddenly vanished on October 30th, 2023. Her family became worried and notified authorities 1 day later. Now, it wouldn't be long until investigators would soon make a very gruesome discovery. On November 1st, just 3 days after she was reported missing, her body was discovered around 6:30 p.m. She was found inside a vehicle at the Logan Airport parking garage. Once police arrived on scene, they inspected the car to find an unresponsive Maggie and a large amount of blood. Court documents say large slash wounds were observed to her face and neck area and a puncture wound to her side. But who could have committed such a heinous murder? Police immediately pointed to 40-year-old Kevin Kingyete of Lowell, Massachusetts. Surveillance video captured the suspect leaving the same parking garage Maggie's body was found not long after the grisly murder. The Suffolk County District Attorney's Office released a photo while Massachusetts State Police began working with Kenyan authorities to locate Kingyete. Now, why team up with the Kenyan authorities? Well, investigators say after committing the nefarious act, Kingyete purchased a single airline ticket on October 31st and fled to the East African country. He led investigators on a months-long international manhunt, attempting to evade extradition and the murder charge that awaited him back in the States.
We're very, very hurt. We haven't had a chance to grieve our daughter, our sister, our cousin. Maggie's body is still calling us to fight for her justice.
Then, in early February 2024, justice seemed to be right around the corner when the suspect was finally captured in a nightclub in Kenya after 3 months on the run. Loved ones felt a sense of relief and like they were one step closer to justice for Maggie. But that feeling would abruptly end. 1 week after being arrested, Kingete managed to escape from Kenyan police custody.
They had him. They told us they had him. And they let him walk out. So who can we trust? Who can we trust?
Everyone is asking what went wrong. How come he did not have chains?
Who opened for him?
Well, according to Kenyan police, they let him out of his cell to meet with a man who claimed to be his lawyer. Next, the international fugitive would then creep out the back of the police station and into a van that was waiting for him.
Our source also confirmed that the disappearance was well planned days before his escape. It all started on Tuesday, February 6th, when 3 people claiming to be his relatives visited him at Muthaiga police station. They are alleged to have brought him a phone which was to help him once he got free. The following day, on Wednesday, February 7th in the afternoon, a person claiming to be his lawyer visited him at the station and they were allowed to talk outside the cell. It is during that moment with the lawyer that Kang'ethe escaped and boarded a matatu on the Thika superhighway. Detectives believe Kang'ethe withdrew some cash using that phone, which helped him move around and buy stuff he needed until he was cornered on Tuesday night.
A few weeks later, Kingete was caught again. Authorities had been tipped off that Maggie's accused killer was staying with a relative on a family farm. The relative, who didn't want to be identified, is said to have been a close friend of Kingete's prior to the murder. According to him, when Kingete arrived that night, he seemed uneasy and shaken up. However, despite feeling paranoid, his relative managed to convince him to stay for a while. But the entire time, Kenyan police were on their way. Reportedly, once they arrived, Kingete tried to resist arrest, but eventually was overpowered by 10 police officers. His relative detailed his time with the suspect while he was in hiding, saying he didn't want to disclose too much about his escape, only hinting that it was an inside job. He also revealed that he turned his relative and close friend in because he grew concerned that his disappearance was putting other family members at risk. And, come to find out, he allegedly had known Maggie as well. Now, recaptured once again, the grand jury could move forward in indicting him as they believe they have enough evidence to move forward with a trial. Only this time, Kingete is being held in a maximum security prison.
I mean, he's a monster. Point blank. There's nothing about it. He feels no remorse. He's running. I want people to know that she was innocent. I mean, she did not deserve this at all. She was a great person.
I want to extend my thoughts and prayers to the loved ones of Maggie. Her story is so incredibly sad. I mean, I remember coming across it back in November, and at that time, Kingete had just fled, and the international manhunt was just underway. So I'm first very pleased, and 2, very surprised at how authorities were able to locate him. I just pray now that the grand jury has indicted him, justice will be served swiftly, because Maggie definitely deserves it, and so do her family and friends. Please let these stories serve as a reminder of the importance of empathy and awareness. And if you're hungry for more stories like Maggie's, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. As always, please share your thoughts on this story in the comments and share this video as we continue to spread awareness surrounding Maggie's story. Thank you so much for joining us on Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. Until next time.